Jim Morris, and I was asked by Ben CB Gitty Baker to do a little segment about the instruments that I make and how I came around to discovering some of these instruments. And I'll start off by telling you that my first instruments I made were banjos and some ukuleles. I still have the first banjo neck that I made, sort of a crude affair, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I used a piece of pine, actually it was some pine paneling, and I had done some furniture work in the past, so I had some thin veneer, and I put a piece of mahogany on it for the fretless fingerboard of my first banjo. I've since removed the neck, saved the neck, but I made a banjo using maple, I think it was, on the body that I used at the time. And this was, I'm thinking 6 or 7 years ago when I first started making these things. And the way I discovered Cigar Box Nation was I was looking for a supplier of bulk fret wire. So I entered bulk fret wire into the search engine, and I came across CB Gitty Crafter. So I ordered some stuff from him, and came across the link for Cigar Box Nation. So I lurked for about a year looking at what everybody else was doing and really learning a lot about making instruments out of cigar boxes. And I came across the now famous among us, anyway, etching of the Civil War soldier sitting in front of his camp playing a Figaro cigar box fiddle. And after I moved to West Virginia, I had already become interested in traditional instruments and traditional music, so that really sparked my interest. And since that time, a friend of mine sent me a picture by the same artist, Edwin Forbes, of the younger of the two soldiers, and he's sitting there. Let's see if you can see it. Sitting there, and it looks like he has a penknife in one hand, and he looks like he's carving out the F-holes. So apparently the younger of the two soldiers actually made the fiddle, and the older guy in the famous etching is playing it there. So anyway, that really sparked my interest in cigar box instruments. I was already interested because of the stuff that other folks on Cigar Box Nation were doing. So that led me to make my first cigar box instrument, which was not this one, but a cigar box fiddle. And I kind of liked the way they sounded. They sounded different from a regular violin / fiddle, but very cool. So my interest in traditional instruments and traditional music led me to other instruments that are made out of boxes. And the cool thing about Cigar Box Nation is folks like Shane Spiel and Ben Baker and some of the other folks are as interested in the history of these instruments as they are in the playing of them. So Shane, in particular, oftentimes posts instruments that he's discovered and says, somebody make this instrument. So that's led me to make a few things, and I have the, since I'd already made banjos, I knew a little bit about banjos, and Shane posted the Uncle Enos plans, or the story about Uncle Enos. So I went ahead and made a fretless Uncle Enos style banjo, which I probably would never have done, except that it was posted on Cigar Box Nation, and I said, heck yeah, I can do that. So the Uncle Enos is a old crusty looking cigar box with a cherry neck on it, and it has it's fretless and has nylon strings. So I'm working on another ukulele, which I hope to have finished. It's going on a H. Upman cigar box, and the neck is it's walnut with a oak center stripe and an oak dowel. And I'll just show you real quickly how this goes together in the box. I've got it just about ready to put together. So the box, I've got a notch cut out, and it's gonna fit down in there like that. I'll put a screw through that. Yeah, come on there, and close the box. And I still have to put probably a sound hole right about in there, but I hope to have this done in time to. Now another thing that Shane Spiel posted was Gus Cannon's frying pan banjo, and I made one of those, and Shane has it in his possession now. So I said, well, I kind of like that, so I decided I was going to make myself another one for myself, and I'm making progress on it. So it's got a dowel running through the frying pan, and I'm going to turn that into a banjo neck, and it'll just get attached on like that. Now let's see. The other thing I'm working on is I sold a few of my cigar box fiddles, so I only really have one left, and some people are asking for fiddles. So I'm going to, this is an oak neck that I've fitted the fingerboard to, and I'm going to turn that into a Las Cabrillas de Soto box, cigar box fiddle. Now I'll show you another traditional instrument that's, I've made some out of cigar boxes, but this one is a Tennessee music box style dulcimer, which Ben had done a segment about Americana month back in July, I think it was. So I decided to go ahead and make some of the Americana instruments, and the Tennessee music box dulcimer that I made for that sold at a craft show about 2 weeks ago. So I made this one out of the other piece of, that was a cassette tape storage box. So this is the smaller half of the cassette tape box, and it sounds pretty nice. So here's the Tennessee music box dulcimer. So I've got cigar boxes. I think I have about 100 of them up there and in various other places, and things that I figure, salad bowls and other things that I figure I will make instruments out of at some point. Cookie tins, old guitars that I've taken and repaired. So I do make some electric instruments too. That's a 3-string cigar box guitar with a pickup on it. But like I said, my main focus is acoustic instruments. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little demonstration of some of the instruments and some of the places that Cigar Box Nation has led me to, and I'll just play you out with a little old tune here. Thank you for watching.